So, I'm Shartia, and this is just a private recording because I felt like recording. First, I hope this reaches you in the best of health and spirits. And I just want to say a quick message to some people. In life, we hit a lot of bumps, we hit a lot of turbulence, and sometimes that we really don't expect to hit, right? We um, have to figure out how to deal with those things, and we have to figure out how we feel about those things and how to express how we feel and what we need in those spaces in order to change our circumstances, right? And sometimes in those circumstances, you have a little bit of tragedy as you're moving to your greatness, being people that you'll miss, baggage that you haven't gotten rid of haven't gotten rid of, fear for what the future may hold, fear from letting go of the past, um, different thoughts, um, relationships that may or may not make it be on your mind or are on your mind because you're not sure of what the future is going to hold. But I'm saying all that to say that that's part of life. And that's why it's so important to give people everything you have when you're present. It's important to make your presence the present. You know what I mean? Your actual presence of being in the moment, the present or gift that you give to people, because we don't know when that moment will be taken away or if that moment is promised for us. And it's not always passing, it's not always death, it's not always, something horrible that causes a split. It can simply be time for someone to move on, or a family deciding to relocate, or anything on that level. I know that as a teacher, I've had two students move in the last 2 weeks. I wasn't prepared for those students to leave. I wasn't prepared to say goodbye. I don't even know if I gave them the proper goodbye. They just showed up and was like, tomorrow's my last day. And I'm like, whoa. So I try to give my all in every moment that I have with anybody, especially the students that I have. They are really amazing. Like, they work every nerve. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they are really, really awesome scholars. They're experiencing some really different times that we haven't experienced. So for those that like judge the children of now, um, yeah, they having like a you owe me spirit, and they're impatient, and they want what they want, and they have these smart mouths. And but if we think about the type of world and society that they're living in and what they're being exposed to and the things that they have been shown, is it really all their fault? I think not. They were exposed to a social media inclined world which is a right now, right now, right now, immediate, a complete lack of patience type of world, right? Everything is at their fingertips. They can get anything, they can see everything, they can get to anything within moments. People comment on things within moments. Things go viral within hours, right? Um, they also deal with the pressure of bullying, with people body shaming and being rude, and being afraid of how many people will talk about them, so there's that pressure. And then the music and the things that are allowed to bleed through these media avenues. Um, COVID, them being forced to be in the house and really forget how to be social. Like, honestly, that's what happened. Students were really on the inside for almost 2 years. And so we talk about summer slide, where students fall back if they're not constantly, reading and studying and kind of staying on top of their academics. Well, what do you think happened during COVID? And it wasn't just academic, it was social, it was emotional, it was everything. So all of that slid back. And so as we get back into society, especially as educators, I think most importantly, not just for the students, but for us too, we really should have been just focusing on how to cope, um, how to survive and what we're going through, how to deal with all these different facets of life that have now changed almost overnight and permanently. How to deal with that code switch, how to deal with these changes, how to deal with these transitions. But yet we have all these demands on our life as educators and scholars and students. And, it's just a lot. We're trying to wrap our heads around things, yet be there for hundreds and hundreds of students a day. And just trying to make sure that we're doing the best we can, that we're giving them all that we can, that we have the energy to deal with the things that they deal with, especially if you're in Chicago or a city that has a high crime rate. We have students that come to school that lost their friends. I had a student that came to me the other day, sad, and I had to pull him to the side and talk to him and get him to someone right away because his 13-year-old friend got killed. But you want me to force a rigorous question dealing with a concept down his throat first period. Like, no, no, I want to know he's okay. I want to make sure this young king is okay. So he doesn't get frustrated and feel like he has to take his emotions out in different ways and possibly end up doing something similar or retaliating or let me just say this, sticking on the positive side. Our children are going through different times, and we can't have those same pressures and expectations of them social emotionally. I'm not saying we shouldn't have high expectations. I'm not saying they can't reach high heights academically, but if we're not taking care of them here and here and here, none of that's going to matter because they're not going to pay attention. I know because I used to be one of those children who was going through and just couldn't focus when other things were going awry in my life. So I just say this to the leaders of education, to those who care, to the ones who understand that this isn't easy for a teacher in a classroom, nor a student sitting in a seat in a classroom. And I thank you for understanding that we need to be cared for too, listened to, heard, offered the opportunity to share organically, authentically, without being ridiculed or put down or set aside or retaliated against because we have an opinion about what's going on in this world and we're in the classrooms with these big babies. And I say that with all love, big babies, not big babies. So It's important to spread love as much as we can. And that's just the kind of person I am. That's just who I am. And it doesn't fit for everybody. It doesn't fit in all avenues. It doesn't fit in all spaces for all people and all bureaucracies, systems. But it's me. So when you're no longer aligned with a place, a relationship, a business, an organization, I don't know if I just said that, but a friendship, a team, but you know in your heart of hearts that you give and you give and you give and you try and you give and you try and you try and it just doesn't seem to be working. It may be time for you to remove yourself from that place and find in your heart of hearts where you're aligned. Because once you're aligned in your space, you will be able to take off and manifest everything that is truly meant for your life. And if you've been organic your whole time in any space, people feel it. Those who matter know. Those relationships you've built will never be forgotten. And it doesn't mean
it's 6:45.
That's my timer. It doesn't mean that you're forgotten about. And it doesn't mean you still can't foster some of those relationships. So I just wanted to touch on a few things because I think that some people have a different way of viewing everything that's going on. But I'm on the inside. So I have a totally different view. And our children right now are going through a lot. They really are. And I know there are educators like me that really care. So we try to take extra time and we try to be there extra in different spaces. And it's not always desired because it doesn't look like what certain systems want you to look like when it comes to being there. So I just hope and I pray that my babies know how much I really, really care for them, how much I've really stuck my neck out, how many things I've done, how many things I've forgotten about, how many meetings I've missed, how many things I've put on the back burner for them. I hope they know how much Miss Jones loves them because I do, like a lot, like a whole lot. And that's my current babies, my freshman babies, and my sophomore babies. I love them all a lot. Don't ever let anybody tell you any different. Always believe in yourself. Love yourself. And love yourself so much that you don't stand for disrespect. Create your boundaries. That you don't let anyone take you from for granted and take you from who you are. Don't let anybody steal your joy. When you feel like people are trying to steal your joy, that's when you know it might be time to go from whatever space that is. I'm just thinking about some of the silly stuff my baby's do in class and some of the funny moments that we have definitely endured this year so far. But I'm also knowing what's real. Yeah, definitely know what's real. Just checking my phone real quick. Making sure I'm not going live on Facebook right now. I just went live. I was making sure, but I'm recording this just for personal reasons and I want to make sure. So, um, yeah. I love y'all always and in always, forever, ever. Forever, ever. So if this message is being watched or played, that means that there's another message coming from you, from me. But I want to share that one in person. But I never want you to forget that I love you. And I believe in you. Always. Always. And if you really need me, I won't be far. All right, so I guess it's time for y'all to probably hear the rest of the message. Yeah. That part definitely has to be in person. All right, babies. Or to anybody else that is watching this somehow figures out. Always believe in you. Always bet on you. And never let go of who you are because somebody can't handle who you are. Yeah. Never let go of who you are because they can't handle who you are. When you come with a light, a bright internal light, some people can't handle it. Some people don't want to deal with it. Don't let anybody dim your light. Don't let anybody tell you what you aren't, what you can't do. Don't let anybody hold you back when you know that you're great. Seek greatness in whatever space that is. And if you can't be great in that space, then create your space to be great in. Don't let anybody hold you back. Ever, never, ever, ever. Don't let anyone keep you from your truth. Don't change your truth because they can't handle your truth. Be you. If it's one lesson I wish I would have got sooner in life, it's that one. Don't people please. Don't have the Frankenstein effect where you have a bunch of different body parts and they're on yours and you don't really know who you are because you're being pulled in so many different ways with other people's body parts on you because you have become what other people want you to become. Instead of owning who you are and being who you are and loving who you are and believing in the gifts and the skills and the talents and the heart that you have, when you're like that, people will try to tear you down. Don't stand for it. Just know when it's time to walk away and find a better circle, whatever that means for you. All right. I love y'all. A lot. Like a whole lot. That's my watch telling me to breathe. It's checking my pulse. So that's my dad. Y'all know I got to get my dad all the time. Dad, dad, dad. All right. All right, y'all. Peace.